K.A. Hough is a Canadian writer who balances her passion for exercise and science with her love of cookies and nonsense. She lives with her husband, three energetic kids, and a codependent dog. In her spare time, she writes essays, teaches boot camps in parks, and drinks tea. Whenever you're ready, K.A.
Thank you. My codependent dog is actually right beside me. I'm going to start with the very first chapter at the beginning of Ground Control. Why can't you understand that I need to do this? That I have to? Sarah took a deep breath to calm herself down, but when she finally responded, her voice was sharp and ragged. Ugly. For the same reason you can't understand that I can't do this. You don't need to do this. You want to, and your wants have moved us around enough already. The kids need some kind of stability or something. We're not coming with you. Not this time. Grant didn't respond. He just stared at her stonily, his blue eyes intent on hers. She crossed her arms. If you choose to go, she said flatly, then you're giving me a divorce. He looked surprised, then furious. No. No, she repeated. You're choosing to leave us for God knows how long, maybe forever. Give me the chance to live my life and take care of my family. A divorce with full custody. We'll let them choose, he said feverishly. Maybe they'll want to come along and... No! Her head hurt. Her eyes burned and her throat was sore. If you leave, you're leaving alone. I'm not going to live like that. My children are not going to live like that. They're children. Let them have their childhood, their friends, their playtime. The ship is set up for families, he pleaded. There are teachers, other kids, lots of activities. But no fresh air, no playing outside. It's not a place for kids. It is a place for kids. They have it fully set up to be sustainable and educational, interactive. It's an opportunity to be a part of something new, something incredible and historic. You're making it sound like a glorified Disney cruise, she snarled. Not a stupid experiment. We're not going. When did she put her tea down? The smoky grey-blue pottery mug was cold to the touch. He changed tack. You're afraid that if I let them choose, Jack will want to come with me. She looked at him amazed. Of course I am, and of course he will, but he's 6. He's not old enough to make irreversible decisions about his future. They're children. Let them have their childhood. Besides, I'm already losing you. You're not losing me, he interrupted softly. She held up a hand which he grabbed. I'm already losing you, she repeated. Don't take my kids away too. She had tucked Maggie and Jack into their beds about 40 minutes ago, bathed and sweet-smelling, and she wasn't sure that they were both asleep yet. Their tablets were both accounted for, charging on the bookshelf in the kitchen, but Maggie sometimes lay awake for an hour or so. They were in the den. The den was a bonus room, added over the garage to the house about 10 years after it was built. When they first moved in, they didn't know what to do with it. After London, it felt luxurious to have a bedroom for each kid as well as a guest room, let alone a finished basement and a family room. But the den was Grant's territory. The walls were covered with his posters and certifications. Finally, he said, you're letting me decorate with my stuff. At one end of the room, surrounding a large, ugly old IKEA desk and 2 decrepit filing cabinets, all piled high with papers. That was his zone, where even the kids, even the cat, feared to tread. This was where he went every night after dinner, while she helped the kids with homework or watched them play outside, or, more recently as the evenings got colder, watched TV with them in the basement, the mindless, brainless preteen television that were as funny as the shows that she had loved at that age. Grant sat on the arm of the old couch, his posture erect and stiff, his dark hair tousled. Sarah stood tensely in front of him and tucked her hair behind her ear again. How long have you known about this? She demanded. It just became real today, he responded. But how long have you known it was probably coming? She put the air quotes in her voice. He sighed. A few months. Since spring break. That's why I had to go to D.C. That break. The kids were off for 2 weeks. There was an early thaw, but the weather was still terrible, cold and damp, but the backyard wasn't snowy enough for fun. Patches of mud were starting to peek through the dirty piles of old snow, and there was slush everywhere. This kind of spring only meant dirty, wet snow pants and sopping wet mittens. On top of that, Sarah had a flu which nearly killed her, but she drove them to a cottage outside of Montreal for a little vacation, for time away, surrounded by nature. Snowshoeing, fire pits, drying the snow pants and mittens in front of someone else's grate. Grant had been planning to come with them, in his non-committal way, but a week beforehand announced that he had to fly to Washington for the week. This sort of thing wasn't unusual, and she and the kids were used to having their own adventures when Daddy's busy. But that was 3 months, she said slowly. You've known for 3 months that you were probably going to head off to outer space forever, and you thought you should wait until it was definitely a thing before telling me? He said nothing. When do you leave? She asked wearily. So that's the first chapter. And my giveaway are little stickers. So I hope you sign up for it. And that's it. Thanks.